Buddy, this is Rich. Okay, I'm going to start doing the number twos and be detailed and exact in that context. I am working a career as of today, right now, present form. But I want to refer back to 1986 through 2001. This is going to be very much relevant in the future, and it should have materialized to a very successful career. I have repeated that experience, of course, before. Let me further detail it. In 1986, I was fortunate enough to test market a concept in one of the most successful areas of the country, one that was Lake Forest Graduate School of Management business environment. I started gaining experience through those skills I had to interact with some of the very most successful business leaders, certainly north of Chicago. They have the highest level of expectations, and I know exactly verbally how to exceed them head on. They call you out to their house and check you out for honesty, integrity, and the healthiest context. From that point forward, I provided exactly what they were looking for. To them, I well exceeded their expectations at the highest level. In fact, they started telling me, out of everyone that we've experienced coming out here, by far, you're the one that we can't thank you enough. And in return, they wanted to give me a hand to create success. Now, that is the honest truth. I didn't know what they were talking about. It was all EQ. It was basically long-term investment, setting you apart from the competition. I experienced that. Let me be as honest as I can be. Okay, let me show you this again. There you go. Completely filled. And as I stated on the earlier review, it was invoices that I purchased, and they were duplicates. And there's a little, just a tiny thicker, than a piece of paper, manila. And that's the copy I kept. Completely filled, and some on top of it, too. I knew they were invaluable. Every bit of that between 1986 through 1994 or 5. Okay? Those appointment books, it was filled, I retained them. I knew it was very valuable. I knew I gained exceptionally valuable experience. I knew it. We let off after about 100 PhDs in vocational psychology, and that's where it left off. As far as, I met with many of the top, and that same pattern of what I've repeated itself over and over again. How many times? To make it enough that I'm considered a business professional. Very valuable career experience. Extremely fortunate. That is as honest as I can be. I have to demonstrate that. I have to absolutely demonstrate that I've truly had that experience. It's only the setting when they call you on the phone, and then you go out to their home, and it's a pattern that I have fully incorporated. I am definitely a business professional without any question. It's a very valuable career experience. And I knew I had it. And that occurred. Now, I have kept about 0.25% of my original records. All of those are gone. I was out of my mind to throw these out. Oh my God, that's extremely valuable experience. And with that should have set the stage for me to continue on with a very successful career. I know I gained the experience, but I didn't know how to communicate it. Okay? I know if I'm put in that exact setting again, I pick up right over again. I know how they take the absolutely most demanding clientele in the nation. Well, I don't know about Lake Forest Graduate School of Management, where 50% of that work occurred. The other 50% between 1986 through honestly, it was about 1993, 94. I mean, I still have the appointment books, and they show just a couple of those entries. A lot of that, almost all of it. I do have that experience. I promise you that these verbal communication skills put me exactly in the same setting. I pick up exactly where I left off. Okay? And so it happened that way for me. And it's as honest as I can possibly be. Eventually my hard skills actually ran out, and I decided to come to the southern states. There was an inheritance, but that career is of the utmost importance. Nothing's more, that's my makeup. All of Lake County, you got the past reviews here that you're going to, refer earlier back. I want to stay right on that. 1986 through 2001, most of that. It would have been through 1995. It would have continued because I had established relationships with property managers. And, Mary Dahlman, Mary Dahlman, I could probably reconstruct by recollection a couple of hundred names, just by recollection. Now, there were a couple of thousand of those interactions where I gained that experience. That's EQ. In 1996, I understand it actually became a form of intelligence, and a very valuable form of intelligence, and some very solid business experience to back it up. That I can absolutely prove that I was very fortunate to gain that experience. The thing I didn't know was how to brand it. And since then, the experience is still there. It's still there. You put me right back up on the Chicagoland North Shore in that similar setting, and it's right there. All that experience I get. They're literally with my makeup, I would be able to take the highest level of expectations and create success that sets you apart from anybody else. Honestly, I have to fully substantiate what I'm stating, and I am promising that 100%. Honestly, I would never exaggerate that, ever, because I have to prove myself. I have that experience. Out of all of the service providers that they dealt with, by far, they told me I am one of the most outstanding examples that they have found. They wanted to give me a hand to create success. As I mentioned, I'm going to repeat it again. As I mentioned, there were many, many different clients, psychiatrists, doctors, dentists, psychologists from all different backgrounds. And I interacted with them, and I got to know me because I'm someone who, I mentioned that. I'll mention it because I build on curiosity because, that's how I was brought up. So I was encouraged, hey, go out there, gain the experience, and come back and tell us what you shared. Of course, my parents were there, as I've mentioned, to correct me. And I'm someone who, what I understand is, as far as the way I build on curiosity, it did set me a little bit apart from a lot of people in my childhood, because here I am building on curiosity, which actually was great, because I love to share it and teach, go beyond 50-50 in the healthiest context. I come from Deerfield, Illinois. So that's what's true about, and certainly, that's true for, roughly 25 years of my life, and then I lived in Lake County, which I continued to pursue that career up to 2001. That's as honest as I can be. I'm a business professional. I highly value the highest level of honesty, integrity, the healthiest context. I know how to create success. Honestly, just in present day form, and I've been at it out here in Alabama since 2004. Okay? I called up to the College Lake County, and I have the exact file. I don't have it accessible, but I believe it would have been approximately May or June of this year. I wanted to make sure that my perception was 100% realistic and accurate. And I spoke to them. I was seeking a PhD in vocational psychology, but I spoke to them. Clearly, they told me that the education is completely irrelevant with that kind of experience. You are a business professional that puts you ahead of most people. Honestly. See? And so I understand up on the Chicagoland North Shore, if I'm put in exactly the same setting, I adapt very quickly. In fact, within a very brief period of time, I would resume having more EQ given to me to help me create success. And of course, that's reciprocal. I'm realizing I have been most fortunate to gain that type of experience. For me, it was my makeup, the type of person, because I build on curiosity, learned how things work out there, and come back and share it for my parents. See, I'll do that to anybody. That's just my makeup. I'm very fortunate. So everyone finds me really interesting. Maybe that's why it was, Wayne Pauly in Deerfield, Illinois. He's over at those Deerfield Crossing condos by Elm Street down there. He told me straight off the bat, compared to anyone we've ever, experienced, you're just outstanding in that respect. Isn't that great? I'm truly a really solid business professional in that respect. Now, I'm aware it happened non-traditionally and most unique. I knew I had that experience, and I didn't even question I would be set with the rest of my life as far as a successful career. And for whatever reason, I wasn't able to communicate it effectively. Out here. But I'll keep it a reference. I knew that if I came out to 4 million population, I wouldn't even have to question. I would have picked up a very successful career. So that is the honest truth. I've related to quite a few people now sharing that experience, and it's always the same. It's a very valuable career experience. Most valuable. I'm someone who knows how to create success, but it's the environment where I gained the experience that's most unique. Extremely fortunate. And I know it. I've known it all along. They wanted to give me a hand to create success with what I understand is probably considered the top business leaders in what would be considered probably practically one of the most successful areas of the country or cities, Lake Forest Graduate School of Management, having all these business professionals, those kind of backgrounds, sharing it with me to create success when they told me the hard skills, the product service completely irrelevant. That is 100% honest. If I'm put in that exact same setting as of present today, very quickly, I create success. I know exactly how to do it. I cannot be any more honest than I'm being. I expected. I was really honestly looking from the highest level of expertise just to take that experience and continue on with a very successful career. Yes, my perception, I understand. Normally it's obtained educationally. That's true. And someone is fortunate enough to gain a very high-level, unique experience. There's very few people. Very few. See, I didn't know it relative to everything. I knew it was extremely valuable, and I wouldn't even have to question. A very successful career would follow. And initially, I didn't know, there was no need to put it out in the world. I was pursuing a career. But when I came down here, down south, in 2000, it was 1 or 2, I knew right off the bat I wouldn't even have to question with that experience. But I needed a hand in that respect. I didn't know how to present it. I knew I had the invaluable. As I mentioned, honestly, If I'm put back in the setting of the Chicagoland North Shore again, with the most demanding clientele in the nation, exceeding their expectations verbally over the phone, they'll know I'm standing out from all the rest. They call you out, they check you out for honesty, integrity, in the healthiest context. That I can thoroughly relate. That's between you and I. It's Lake Forest, Illinois. It's where 50% of that occurred. I'm estimating, if you look at this, during that period, how many, those Malellas can you fit in there? I'm going to guess, realistically, 2,000 times I gained that experience. And the rest of the Chicagoland North Shore, another 2,000 times. Okay, I've got the appointment book. It's hardly anything. It's about 0.25%, just to be able to substantiate that. That I did keep. And I didn't know how to present it yet until later. And where it would have been 2004. Okay? 2004 is where it would have happened. I was in a fantastic spot. I came down south there. So yes, I, without any question, my perception is 100% accurate. I'd be very concerned if I was believing something that factually is not a reality. And that is absolutely a reality. It would be a shame to throw it away because somebody with that kind of background incorporates so quickly back to that norm. That's as honest as I can be. That's what's true about my career experience. I was able to, no reason to repeat it anymore. It's all in the 1990 through 2000. I'm just repeating it as a number 2 as I progress over the following years. So thank you for learning more about me in that respect. Oh yes, absolutely. That career and the success is of utmost importance. Absolutely. That's the whole upbringing I come from. And also based only on the highest level of honesty, integrity, in the healthiest context. You may wonder why, when I'm put in a setting like that, right off the bat, I'll create success almost immediately. I understand experience. Instead, though, good. Thank you. Thank you for getting to know me. I expect the same when I came down here in 2004. Right there on that date is exactly where it should have picked up. And now I'm going to continue sharing what is true about my career background. Unheard of. That career I take most serious. It's 2/3 of your life. It's very important, vitally important. Thank you for letting me share, which will be now labeled 1986 through 2001, the first half of that, and it continued on the second half, but not nearly at such a high level as directly with the top. That's 1986 through 2001, number 2. Thank you.